Olympic Games in Beijing, where SHAWN Johnson earned an individual gold medal and 3 silver medals, including a team silver. She competed on Dancing with the Stars, took home the top prize there. She has appeared on a lot of programs. She was on with Ellen. God bless her. I love Ellen. Oprah. She was on with David Letterman. She was on with Jay Leno. She's been on the Today Show, and the kid's 16. God bless her.
Oh,
Hi,
wow.
SHAWN. How are you?
Good, how are you?
I have to correct you, Doug. You're 17, aren't you, Sean?
I am 17.
We got to keep that year,
Those birthdays are important when you're that age, right, Sean?
Yeah, you like to count.
Yeah. So when you started as a gymnastics, or I was going to say a gymnastics person, how about a gymnast? You were what age?
I was 3 years old.
Did you start because you wanted to or because your folks said, let's see if we can get Sean interested in something special?
Not really. I was just a really hyper kid, and my parents needed something to do with me, so they put me into dance.
Yeah,
that didn't work out.
I feel their pain.
Yeah.
Richie's got a
One of those
5-year-old
kids.
son who's dancing around as well.
So we tried gymnastics, and I loved it.
Yeah, and so at what age do you, when you go back through the, I want to say career, it seems at 17 it would be silly to refer to it as a career, but you certainly have done a lot of great things. When did you first feel like you were headed for something special, a special place?
Honestly, I never really did. I love the sport, and year by year I kept, going up one more level or succeeding in the level I was at. And I would say by the time I was probably 12, I had finally hit the top level, and I think that's when I started to realize that if I worked hard enough, I could maybe make it to the Olympics.
Mm-hmm. How do you do in school?
I'm a 4.0 student.
You are.
I am.
She's on the honor roll.
Yeah, we love Sean.
Wow, 4.0.
So how does it, do people treat you differently at school, or is everybody pretty welcoming and appreciative of all the great skills that you have?
When I was there, they were pretty appreciative and supportive and stuff. I haven't actually gone back to public school since the Olympics. I most recently transferred to a online private high school just because of my travel, but they were really supportive and encouraging of everything.
So how does that work? An online private high school. How do you do your lessons? Is it like having your own personal tutor?
No, it's honestly just completely independent, and you sign on every day and you do as much as you can. And
Do you miss school?
I do. I miss it so much.
Yeah,
it's probably one of the hardest things I've ever had to sacrifice or give up.
Mm-hmm.
But you're happy with your decision, and you're loving, obviously, the Olympics and traveling. And
I am. It's definitely, it was a hard thing to decide, but, in exchange for that, I got to travel and do things that I never, thought I could.
And you got the prom on Dancing with the Stars last year, right?
Yeah, and I actually went to prom as a sophomore, too, so I got to experience that, and I'll get to go this year if somebody asks me, so.
Oh, that's good. I'm sure there's a huge line.
Yeah. Wait a minute. How hard is it for you to be in public? How hard is it for you to have, at your age, at 17, you're starting to date? And so how do you handle that? There's privacy is very important. So how do you handle having a boyfriend if you can find the time to do it?
You just have to find somebody who's not intimidated by everything.
Yeah.
But it is hard. It is hard, but.
Especially with at that age, finding a boy who's just, never mind somebody who is a friend, girlfriends that might be your age, but boys are much less mature than girls. You found that out, right?
Yeah.
So finding that, I can see your parents, okay, so somebody mature enough to not be intimidated by you, who you are, your accomplishments and so forth, and have, let's say, somebody who might be 19. What's age appropriate for you? 18, 19?
It just depends on the person. I don't know.
Yeah.
Doug, leave her alone. Jeez.
Terrible.
No,
So what do you
just want to find out how her parents are doing, and this has got to be tough on her parents too. She's a healthy young woman and would like to probably have a boyfriend.
Let's talk about Lunchables.
Besides creepy Doug, Sean, what are you working on now?
Right now, I'm kind of taking it one day at a time, but I've been able to do fun things with partnerships, and right now I'm partnering with Lunchables because they're doing this thing called the Lunch Note Promise, and it's about trying to get parents to get on to lunchnotepromise.com
What is
and
that, Sean?
To send a lunch note to their kids, like in their lunches during school, just because, that's great for our parents to do, and that's what my parents did, and it's really encouraging for kids.
You mean little love notes?
Yeah, that's so cool.
Yeah, and, for every promise we get, Lunchables will donate a meal to a child in need through Feeding America. And we're trying to raise 100,000
All right, so explain how this works again, Sean.
Parents get on lunchnotepromise.com.
Yep.
And they just click, promise, and, they have to send in a promise to kind of promise Lunchables that they'll put a note in a kid's lunch. And
what's on the what would be on the note?
Anything.
Anything you want. Have a great
Today's a great day.
Oh,
I
okay,
love
all right.
you.
You can do it.
Right.
Sure.
Eat your
Mom used to-
carrots.
My mom used to cut my sandwiches into heart shapes or stars or whatever, and she used to send a note with me that said, I love you, I'm thinking of you, have a great day.
There you go. Okay, that's
something
good.
to remind the kids that your parents are there for you. And
Yeah, that's
take care
great.
and their support.
Now, speaking of that, how much are your parents with you when you're on the road or traveling or involved in all of these pre- and post-Olympic things and the challenges, the dance stuff? How much are your parents around?
My parents are involved with everything. They're my rock. They're the ones who got me to where I am today. And even though, sometimes they aren't able to go with me places and be a part of everything, they're still there in the decision making of everything I do. And
You have siblings?
no, I'm an only child.
Are you? All right. Well, so that makes it a little easier for you and for them. Well, it's swell meeting you. I was teasing you. Well, I wasn't really teasing you. I just was interested in how it must be tough to cope with all the stuff that you have to cope with. You're making choices, and you're regardless of or in addition to the, let's say, the lunch note promise, you're making good choices. That says something good about you, and it says something good about your parents and your environment and your surroundings. So make sure that you keep your head on your shoulder as you continue to be successful and understand what the priorities are. Helping people like you are here with a lunch note thing and giving youngsters encouragement to find something they can do it well, and achieve. I mean, I think that's part of what you're all about. That seems to me to be a very strong part of what you're all about.
Definitely.
Good for you. You're welcome. Nice to have you here, Sean.
Thank you.
Take good care. 17-year-old SHAWN JOHNSON